This web page was constructed in less than 15 minutes without templates and without cascading style sheets. The speed of the page construction is increased by about 400% to provide a brief introduction overview. Then the page construction will be shown at normal speed and explained. Elements can be dragged and dropped from any folder on the computer. We have collected required images and text, and placed into a single folder. These elements are then dropped and fitted onto the Visifront workspace. Note how the pictures of Frank Crumit and William Percy French are fitted into their respective poem boxes. The images are zoomed in and out by the top right and bottom left corners to fit. All Visinode elements can be manipulated this way. Since the originator of the lyrics, Mr. French, did not copyright his song, lots of artists modified and published new versions of the original, under their own names. Back to normal speed, we drag a picture for our background from the Exercise 2 folder and drop into the workspace of Visifront. See how we increase the size of the image. Move the mouse to the right top corner and notice the east-west cursor. This phenomena allows resizing elements width-wise. Then we drop a text element into our background picture. The text can barely be seen on this backdrop, so new text color and a base color will enhance our page. Right-click on the text element to open its context menu, and bring up the color box on the right, then pick the color from that box. Every element, picture, text, video and etc. have their own perspective context menu. A right-click on the element opens this menu. Move the mouse to the lower right corner. This will produce a northwest-southeast cursor. Move the corner to increase the frame size. Use the mouse wheel to scroll through the text. We are going to fit the text boxes, side by side, and justify the text on the right side. Visual digital stuff of many kinds can be fitted using Visifront. Notice the crosshair cursor in the top left corner. It will allow the elements to be moved in its parent frame or workspace. When digital objects are dragged and dropped into a Visiframe, these objects become integral parts of the frame, or better yet, child frames. These child frames only move within their parent frames. They can be freed from their parent by dragging while holding the Control key down. More objects can be dropped into the child frames and thus become grandchildren of the parent frame. Red items in the context menu such as text size, opacity, and etc. are manipulated using the mouse wheel. Visifront is free online, no strings attached. You can test what we have been showing for yourself. There is no installation, no cookies, no request for access to your computer. Frank Crumit and William Percy French are now the grandchildren of the frame containing the globe background image. Visifront runs on a browser. Chromium and Chrome are our browsers of choice. These browsers are secure and do not open up access to your file or operating system. Go to the Manage Frames item in the context menu and select the red sub-item, Round Corners. Then use the mouse wheel to round the corners of the frame. This is Frank Crummett's record label. Later in this video we will hyperlink this label to his video on YouTube. Let's preview the page. A black base under our background image may be more aesthetically pleasing than a white base. Right-click on the base and select its color from the color box on the right. We should also color the browser substrate black. Note this doesn't have to be done, it is just a matter of taste. If the substrate is black, then no matter how the browser viewport is stretched, the background is always black. Let's preview the page. We can download our page to the Downloads folder. Later the page can be modified and extended. Optionally, our previous work can be retrieved from the Downloads folder and dragged back into Visifront. We will add more to our page. When a parent frame is resized using either the top right corner or the bottom left corner, all its children, grandchildren and etc. are resized proportionally. Note how by adding stuff to Visinode the total vertical space allocated to the page extends automatically. The more we stuff downwards the larger is our vertical space. Digital text objects are dragged from the Exercise 2 folder and dropped into the Google Earth image. The text can barely be seen on this backdrop, so new text color and a base color will enhance our page. Right-click on the text element to open its context menu, and bring up the color box on the right, then pick the color from that box. Every element, picture, text, video and etc. have their own perspective context menu. A right-click on the element opens this menu. We are going to fit the text boxes, side by side, and justify the text on the right side. Visual digital stuff of many kinds can be fitted using Visifront. Use the mouse wheel to scroll through the text. Visifront is well suited for spontaneous page creation, and in this case the page designer isn't quite sure where to put the elements, how big they should be and etc. This explains the fumbling around. Move the mouse to the lower right corner. This will produce a northwest-southeast cursor. Move the corner to increase the frame size. Right-click just inside the Visiframe to bring up each respective context menu. Click on the Expand option of the top right corner to expand the frame to full 1600 pixels, or to the full width of the workspace. Alternatively, function key F7 will accomplish the same. Let's preview the page. Visifront assigns a random name to downloaded files. The operating system can be used to rename these files. In our Downloads folder, files are sorted by date. We will retrieve our latest stored work to continue the page construction. We drag and drop a music file into our page and play it.
Sons of the prophets were brave men and bold, and quite unaccustomed to fear. But the bravest by far in the ranks of the Shah was Abdul, Abulbul, Amir. Now the heroes were plenty.
We bring up Google to search for Frank Crumit, and get the URL, or the path to his YouTube channel.
Sons of the prophets were brave men and bold, and quite unaccustomed to fear. But the bravest by far in the ranks of the Shah was Abdul.
In the Frame context menu, find Enhance Frame. Then click on Link Frame to bring up the hyperlink drop box. The URL path is highlighted with a left click, dragged and dropped into the black link box for the round record label. Whenever there is a mouse click on the record label, this will bring the music video into a new pop-up window where it can be viewed. Click on the record label and go to the YouTube channel. Click Preview and then click on your hyperlink to see if it works.
Sons of the prophets were brave men and bold, and quite unaccustomed to fear. But the bravest by far in the ranks of the Shah was Abdul, Abulbul, Amir.
In the following we will show how to hyperlink text. Text can be highlighted and hyperlinked like visiframes. Highlight the text that should be hyperlinked, then right-click on the highlighted area. This will bring up the context menu. At this point you will receive a hyperlink dropbox and can proceed like we did with visiframes. Click Preview and then click on your hyperlink to see if it works. To highlight text, hold the left mouse button down, and sweep the text horizontally, then right-click on the highlighted text for its context menu. Select Hyperlink to bring up the drop box. It is also possible to double-click on a word and then right-click to get its context menu. Use the browser to bring up a page and drag its path into the drop box. It is also possible to double-click on the drop box and type the hyperlink directly. Click Preview and then click on your hyperlink to see if it works. Visinode pages are a library or a collection of self-sustaining digital objects with no dependencies. Will these objects become autonomous and self-governing? Stick with us and find out. To demonstrate what can be done to all visiframes regardless of type, here a basic text frame is used. Hit the Shift key, then double-click on the frame to enter text. To add borders, for example, select the border type. Here, solid border is selected, and then the mouse wheel is used to change the thickness of the border. Then we click on the visiframe's corners to round them individually. It is possible to clone visinodes of all types. Each visinode is independent and therefore must contain all it needs for operation within itself. Select the Manage Frames option, and here we clone downwards. The same can be accomplished by holding the Control button down while pushing the arrow keys on your keyboard. We will clone the Frank Crumit object, and use it elsewhere on the page. Hold the Control key down, while dragging the Frank Crumit clone out of its parent holder to the main workspace, where there is more room for maneuver. Hold the Control key down, while dragging the text element into the Frank Crumit Visinode clone. We will also clone Mr. French, to demonstrate the snap features of Visifront. By default, Visinodes snap to a 16-pixel imaginary grid. This default value can be changed. Note how the images can be brought closer together when the grid snap space is made smaller, and the opposite when made bigger. This eliminates the need for a ruler when arranging frames on the page. It starts with a frame, and the frame may have an embedded picture, which in this case is a Matryoshka doll. Here, for demonstration, the Matryoshka frame is cloned and embedded into the original. This is also called nesting. Hence, by our definition, the original becomes a Visinode. Visinodes may be nested indefinitely, or until the computer runs out of memory. Every Visinode object has a unique identity, otherwise the browser is unable to tell the difference. Thus, the clone can never have the identity of the original, but everything else can be the same. This becomes important later. We will shuffle the Visinodes around, clone them and mess with them, then we will arrange the page back to the way it was in the beginning, with the links intact. Here it is. Our page is back together and the original links work. To demonstrate the cropping features of Visifront, we have selected a map from Wikipedia that shows the European territories under the rule of the Ottoman Empire, from the Bosphorus Strait in Turkey, towards the Ukrainian border. We will cut a piece of the map and place it just north of Varna on the background map, roughly where the Danube River meets the Black Sea. Remember to right-click on your Visinode to bring up the available options. The size of the workspace here is 1600 pixels. This can be changed using the Page Web Property option from the Editor menu. Since we are using a 4K, roughly 3840 pixel wide screen, the workspace is easily expanded to Full HD, 1920 pixels, with plenty of space to spare. The Visinode element remains 1600 pixels, but it can be expanded to the full size of the new workspace quickly. It can also be reduced to fit a smaller workspace or smaller screens. Note that the red label, in the top right corner of Visifront shows the pixel size of the targeted Visinode element. The browser automatically fits visual elements such as images and etc. to the Visinode's viewport, and the quality of these elements is never diluted, even if the viewport shrinks to a thumbnail size. This workspace is 960 pixels wide. For a workspace this small, Visifront requires at least 720p, or half-definition screen, for its operation to be comfortable. To scale Visifront to suit your screen size, go to the top right corner of the browser and select Settings. Use the zoom option to adjust the size of the 1600 pixel Visifront workspace. Visifront is a web page that operates within a browser. Browsers are generally secure and shield your computer from malicious web applications. Unfortunately, this also keeps benevolent apps like Visifront from serving you fully. So we have added a mediator between Visifront and the rest of the world. Yours and other people's desktops, laptops, tablets, smartphones, IoT, Internet of Things, or any device running a suitable browser. This mediator is called Visishare. Visishare is in many ways similar to ordinary social media platforms like Facebook. It is also only a web application, and like Visifront has limited access to your system. But Visishare is connected to a special server in the cloud. This adds extra functionality to Visifront. Observe what happens when the user stacks the page. We can drag our old page from the Downloads folder on our home computer and click Stack. The page gets uploaded to a machine outside the home in the cloud. Click Visifit to get a fresh new Visifront window. We will recycle a portion of our old page. Then we will stack it in the cloud. Observe how new pages go to the top of the stack. We will recycle some old material to create an alternate view. Visinodes are a collection of digital objects. These can be dragged and dropped from the cloud stack. We sometimes refer to as the feed. Like on other social media platforms, the feed is always the same for all connected users. The column, left of the stack, lets the user add raw digital objects like text, images, videos and etc. directly from the machine displaying Visishare. More about this later. The YouTube link we added to the record label earlier is still alive and well.
Sons of the prophets were brave men and bold, and quite unaccustomed to fear. But the bravest by far in the ranks of the Shah was Abdul, Abulbul, Amir. Now the heroes were plenty and well known to fame in the troops that were led by the Tsar. And the bravest of these was a man by the name of Ivan.
The right column of Visishare holds saved web pages produced by Visifront. These pages are a collection of Visinodes fitted together by a user. The entire column is called the stack, and sometimes the feed. On the right of this Visinode is a visual presentation of a PDF document, embedded into its own Visinode. This page contains a text element and a PDF file. Once submitted to the Visishare stack, it becomes available to anyone connected to your project. The left-hand column of Visishare can hold the raw materials for your project. This column is a stack containing Visiframes that may be dragged and dropped anywhere. One might ask, we can drag and drop from our desktop, so what is the need for the left column? The left column provides rudimentary access to devices that may not even have a desktop, devices like the Raspberry Pi and other low-level devices able to host a browser. The left-hand column of Visishare offers an alternative route into the machine hosting the Visinode system. It is easy to publish your work on the World Wide Web. Click Edit, found in the Visishare feed, to select the page. Once it is loaded into Visifront, click the Publish option located on the top toolbar strip. The black button labeled www in VisiShare's top control strip contains the path to your web publication. This button can be dragged and dropped into social media such as Facebook Messenger and etc., from which your friends can view your page with a single easy click. The button to the right labeled Project provides the web link to VisiShare, and like the www button, can be dragged and dropped into social media to give friends access to your project with a single click. A Visinode is only an element of a web page. To underline this, we will drag a Visinode from the page feed into an empty VisiFront workspace, but in this case, we will have to recolor both our base and the browser's substrate. Once this is done and published, there is essentially no difference between the old and new publication.
Sons of the prophets were brave men and bold, and quite unaccustomed to fear. But the bravest by far in the ranks of the Shah was Abdul, Abulbul, Amir. Now the heroes were plenty and well known to fame in the troops that were led by the Tsar, and the bravest.
Our page is now available on the web, and we can enhance the ease of access using QR codes. QR codes are pictures of a pattern. Scanners decode this pattern into plain text through camera. QR scanners are very common on smartphones. If you don't have a QR scanner on your phone, go to Google Play Store and download the app. Open the app and aim the scanner at the QR pattern in this video, and with one click you can choose to view our page on your smartphone. We republish our page with the QR code included, so anyone viewing the page may capture its web location onto a smartphone. Literally, a picture paints 1,000 words. In its essence, it is just an image and can be downloaded, printed, dragged and dropped and distributed. The image is embedded into a primal Visinode and made available as raw material. It may be kept or erased. As a Visinode, the visual message is subjected to the functional power of its hosting Visinode, as any other image. We will learn more about this as we descend deeper into the rabbit hole. We can also create a QR code for VisiShare. This code can be used to invite friends on social media to your whole project where they may become participants. All QR codes appear in VisiShare's left column, the raw materials column, or better yet primal feed, which we will use from now on. These can be erased and/or downloaded as needed. Sorry about this coding interruption, it will be short, we promise. Program code can be added to all Visinodes and frames. We will add some code to the Frank Crumit record label. Right-click on the label and select Edit Frame from the Enhance Frame option in the context menu. This will bring up a coder window, and the code should be entered or pasted between the lines that start with script. Only 8 lines of JavaScript code is required to spin any Visinode. More about this later. Let's preview the page to see how this Visinode will look on the World Wide Web if anyone cares to publish it. We can bring up our old page from the Downloads folder, and add our JavaScript code to the record label on that page.
Skavinsky Skavar. One day this bold Russian had shouldered his gun and donned his most truculent sneer. Downtown he did go, where he trod on the toe of Abdul, Abulbul, Amir. Young man, quoth Abdul, has life grown so dull that you wish to end your career? Vile infidel, no, you have trod on the toe of Abdul, Abulbul, Amir.
Code-endowed Visinodes can significantly enhance the usefulness of the web publication. Click on the white caret in the top right-hand corner of Visifront. This ensures that the text wraps around a frame or a Visinode dropped into the text element. The black frame around the caret will turn green when Visifront is in wrapping mode. Text has been copied from Wikipedia telling us a bit more about Frank and William. To demonstrate text wrapping, we will add 2 more pages to the Visishare stack. The stack will eventually become our web. It may be necessary to maneuver the Visinodes, color background, and text, like we have done before to make our page a bit more aesthetic. Depending on to which side of the text element the frame is dropped, the text in the element wraps either to the left or right. Right-click on the wrapped frame. This brings up the right-left option. Click on the option to toggle the frame to the right or left of the text.
Click on its lower right corner, and use the up arrow key to shrink the height of the Visinode, grid by grid. This demo shows how the stack may be arranged in Visifront for smartphone scroll and view in portrait mode. The web page in this case is a single hypertext markup document that can grow indefinitely or however far the memory of the device allows. Once the page is ready, some may want to include a QR code to help direct traffic to the publication. It is possible to drag the black www button from the Visishare control panel to the desktop, where an icon linked to the new web publication is consequently created. Until now, we have been creating web pages and styling them to the aspect ratio of smartphones. Visinode elements can be added to these pages as we go, and so the page grows indefinitely. This is adequate for most intents and purposes. However, a website is a collection of web pages organized for desktops, laptops, and other devices, and have served us well from the dawn of browsers. But both the web creation and publishing processes are complicated. After the web is created, the first step to publishing the site is to find it a name. Given that the chosen name is websites, the next step is to find if anyone has reserved this name. If websites is available, it may be purchased as websites.com, websites.net, and etc. The third step is to secure a hosting service and set the name servers. It may take a while before the new domain becomes available on the internet, as for example, www.websites.com. Visinode makes this process simple. From the Visishare control panel, click the New Topic button, and enter, for example, websites between the brackets. This creates an empty site. Compose your web page using VisiFront and publish the page when ready. The page becomes available almost instantly on the internet under https://visinode.net/website/. In the following, Visinode will be used to create a website. A website is a collection of web pages, usually with a single entry page, from which we connect to other pages both inside and outside the hosting machine. Select the Open option near the top left corner of Visishare to switch between projects and topics. We will proceed by recycling our previous work into our new website, and with time expand the site, piece by piece. Observe how Visinodes are collected from other topics and used for the new project. The Visinode that contains the background picture is poached from the stack. Of course, a template may be created on the stack and used to regulate the style of the site. More about this later. The Ottoman Empire had been knocking down European doors for centuries. They had vassal states stretching all the way up to the Russian border. With tensions at a breaking point, an uprising in Bulgaria triggered the Russo-Turkish War. Happier with Ivan than Abdul, Western Europe did not object when Ivan pushed Abdul over the Strandia mountain range. Bulgaria, an Eastern Orthodox nation in the origin of the Russian Cyrillic alphabet, gained de facto independence in 1878 with the help of Ivan. On the crossroads between empires and civilizations, Bulgaria has seen history like few other nations, all the way back to the Neanderthals and modern man, and beyond. Over clashes of civilizations, and known as people with no rights, Bulgarians have seen more than most, including brutes such as the last Viking Harald Hardrada, the Varangian dubbed the Bulgar Burner, and Scorched Earth Vlad the Impaler, Dracula. Documented history is mostly about wars, glory, heroes, and written for popular consumption, and so is the Ballad of Ivan and Abdul. We will attempt to create an interactive web to depict history while we learn to use Visinode. Webs are mostly about links and hyperlinks. VisiFront allows words, sentences, and Visinodes to be referenced to other pages or documents. In this demo, frames are created inside a panel and cloned to the right. The arrow keys are used to tweak the new frames visually, grid by grid. Once filled, all the Visinodes within the panel can be fitted to our presentation using 1 or 2 mouse clicks. This page will become our entry page as the web becomes available on the internet, as https://visinode.net/websites/. We will create a simple and temporary page for our history tour. This page will develop gradually. Right-click on the Visinode buttons, and from the Enhance Frame menu, select Link Frame. This brings up the link box. We did drag and drop external web addresses into the box from the browser earlier, but here, the buttons will refer to the internal web pages on our stack. In the control panel of a page on the stack, click the green label to tie the page to either a Visinode button or highlighted text. Previously we published individual pages, this time we need to publish a web. From the Visifront control panel, tick the web box, and then select Publish. The page from which the web is published becomes the entry page to the web. For easy access from other devices, and to save the user from typing the whole web address, a QR code can be published with the page.